Hi, my name is John Ndege and I help B2B software entrepreneurs sell more software and get more customers. And today we're going to be talking about how to find your ideal customer. So, what is an ideal customer? An ideal customer is a customer that's narrowly defined. You want someone who your product actually solves their problem so well that it's remarkable. They're willing to make a remark about it. The ideal customer has the money to buy what you're selling, and the ideal customer is contactable. But first of all, why is it important to find your ideal customer? Well, the whole purpose of an ideal customer is to quicken your speed to learn so you can quickly build, market, and sell what customers want and increase the size and the profitability and revenue of your business as fast as possible. If you don't have a targeted ideal customer, your learning can be a bit random. There's no similarities between the customers, and it's very inefficient when it comes to scaling. And of course, the result with most people when they start a business is that you end up running out of money or motivation before the business works because you don't find that ideal customer. I can talk about my own personal experience actually. Long ago, I actually set up a marketing business helping lawyers get leads online. But I couldn't quite figure out what the ideal customer was. And so I was speaking to many different types of lawyers. I could speak to family lawyers who worked on divorce or corporate lawyers who worked on transactions, and I didn't quite find the perfect fit. And because of that, the business was never able to scale. It's the kind of business that, gets to maybe 10 grand a month or so, but never really gets further than that because you just can't find the similarities between the customers and actually, scale out. So that's a common problem when you're trying to find your ideal customer. Now, the ideal customer is narrowly defined. Let's go through these. Narrowly defined. So this is best explained with an example, actually. So let's say you're creating a software product that helps people with their analytics, privacy, cookies, compliance, something along those lines. Now, you can start off by just focusing on startups. That's better than all businesses. You can be more specific and say B2B SaaS startups, or you can be even more specific and say, early stage B2B SaaS startups in the European Union that have raised between $250,000 and $5 million. With that kind of specificity, you can target your marketing and your product and your sales in a much more efficient way. And let's look at an example actually. So here, for example, we've got Plausible.io. This is an analytics tool, and you can see their targeting is very clear. A simple, privacy-friendly alternative to Google Analytics. So anyone who's interested in privacy, who wants something that's kind of hosted in the EU, who cares about GDPR and all the other regulations around privacy, they're going to like this product because it's well targeted to them. And it's clear that they have an ideal customer they're going after. They're probably going after the kind of the independent or small to medium-sized business who wants basic analytics with ensuring the privacy is protected. If you compare this to like Kissmetrics, and no hard feelings on Kissmetrics, is a product I've actually used in the past. It's a lot less clear. I mean, this is advanced product and marketing analytics. So I guess they're tracking inside. They're doing SaaS e-commerce, it says up top, but it seems very broad. And therefore, who is their ideal customer? Every SaaS business, every e-commerce business? Is there a particular type of size or geographic location? Now, this business has been around for many years, so maybe they've got to the point now where they're pretty much going after everyone, but you can see it's not as targeted. And especially when you're in the early stage, you want to be a lot more targeted than what you would see here on the Kissmetrics page. Okay, so the next point of trying to get an ideal customer, how to find the ideal customer, is to make sure that your product solves the customer's problem so well it's remarkable. So this is the famed product market fit. And in my experience, product market fit comes from having a valuable problem to solve, having empathy for the customers that you're solving it for, of course having a good product, and having something that's unique, uniquely valuable. The easiest way you'll find to have empathy is to be the customer. So you see this advice on Basecamp or 37 Signals. They say, oh, you should make sure that you build products for yourself because you understand the problem better than building for someone else. And that's true. I find that to be very good. At the very least, you want to belong to the demographic I find that you're trying to sell and market to and build for. So, I would not build a tool for lawyers if you know absolutely nothing about the law, have no connections there whatsoever. But building tools, of course, for software developers, if you're a software developer, is a lot easier. Next step, of course, and how to find your ideal customer, of course, is to have the build quality to be good. And the best way to guarantee that is to build it yourself. And the last step is to be unique. This is very hard in software because it's very easy to copy products over time. So trying to be unique the only way I can see that really working for most B2B software businesses is to have some kind of personality, some kind of philosophy or value system behind what you build. Famously perpetuated also again by companies like Basecamp, who have a philosophy behind what they build. In theory, they're just project management software, but they're much more than that because of their positioning in the market on many various different technology topics. Now, when you're also trying to find your ideal customer, you want to make sure that they have the money to buy what you're selling. Trying to sell to something to people who don't have the money or could not loan the money is, I've never gone through something more futile. Just don't do it. It's a complete waste of time. Basically, it never works. So only try and sell something to people who have the money to buy what you're selling, or at the very least, they can get a loan or find the money if they don't have it directly themselves. Now, the last step to find your ideal customer is to ensure that they're contactable. This is really important. Like, I see a lot of entrepreneurs out there trying to build products for global enterprises, but they're just, one person in the room. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very difficult to get in contact with the people who can give you feedback, who can buy the product, who can move the process along. Many people I know who have set up software products. I've got another good example is that a friend of mine set up some dev tools for people building on mainframe computers. The problem with mainframe computers is mostly just used by enterprises. You have to try and sell in the enterprise. It took him like 2 years before he made his first sale because he had to go through this arduous procurement process with global enterprises in order to get anything into production. So I usually avoid those unless you have a special connection. I avoid trying to sell things to celebrities or just trying to sell things to people who are not contactable via email, phone, social media. I'll give you another example. A business I once tried to set up was selling some kind of CRM contact solution for roofers, people fixing roofs. At the time, it was very hard. This was a while ago, maybe 10 years ago. Mostly because roofers were often out on people's roofs. So they were not easily contactable to get in touch with and speak with about different products and services. It was very hard to get in contact with them, I found. That's probably changed now because of the proliferation of mobile devices and so forth. But 10 years ago, trying to sell to a roofer an online product was pretty tough. So those are the tips on how to find your ideal customer. Make sure that it's narrowly defined. Make sure that you have a problem and a product that actually solves that problem. Ensure that they have the money to buy what you are selling and ensure they're contactable. And that way you will find your ideal customer.